Got an update in the Karmelo Anthony case. They had an emergency hearing today. I heard rumblings of this over the weekend, and I wanted to wait until it was done. My source locally asked me to wait till it was done so that, the actual hearing happened, and it just did, and so we'll have that to talk about. By the way, if you enjoy my Karmelo Anthony coverage, make sure you leave a like on the video. It helps immensely. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. I do want to remind you guys, I'm promoting today just my live stream channel. I had to change live stream channels. And I do a daily live show with Hannah Claire, Luke Radowski, and Melanie Mack. I have guests on and things like that. Today we had the Redheaded Libertarian. So if you search for Quartering Live, I'll leave a link in the description. We cover every breaking news every day at 2 o'clock Eastern. You can always watch it later. So please do go support that channel. Help me get to 5,000 subs. We're super close. Emergency hearing today. Now, Friday, we were told, or Thursday, we were told late, that all of the parents of the kids that were at this event had gotten this email. And the email had said, hey, we need, we're going to have all your kids' records released basically to the public because the defendant wants them. And this is obviously very concerning. Many of the parents spoke out saying, hey, I don't want my kids to get swatted. I don't want any kind of witness tampering, any kind of nonsense that might make my kid feel uncomfortable. I 1,000% agree with that. This felt very weird. It felt like intimidation. Then I talked to a few lawyers, though, and those lawyers said this was relatively standard. It's just a little bit different because these kids are all kids. If an incident had happened, say at a sporting event, a baseball game, basketball game, football game, and there was a fight or an incident, probably they're going to subpoena the names of anyone who might have been around or might have received, took footage or saw what happened. The issue in this case is the people on the Karmelo Anthony side, not necessarily directly his family, although there is a lawsuit pending that is going to find out if his dad, Drew Anthony, was working with Charleston White and Tiffany Billions to intimidate reporters. That looks like that's going for it. I haven't checked in on that in a while. Sarah Fields has been doing excellent reporting on this, and she's actually suing Karmelo Anthony's father and Charleston White to figure out what's going on here because she's being harassed, doxxed. They doxed her kids. It's up to 20,000. It's at givesendgo.com/Sarah Fields, one word. So she's only 5K away. I put 2,500 in myself, I believe. Yeah, I did. I'm hoping this lawsuit is really important because it's going to tell us, is Charleston White on the payroll, Tiffany Billions, and it could have a very negative effect on Karmelo's sentencing if they're out there trying to harass people who are reporting. Now, exclusive and encouraging update in the Karmelo Anthony case. Actions have now been taken to seal all of the private information of anybody under 18, all the students. Last week, I exclusively obtained an email sent by Frisco ISD to a large number of parents informing them that they had less than 5 days to file a motion or a notice of hearing to object to the release of their children's personal and identifiable information to the Anthony family's lawyer or attorney and the Collin County courts. It's the middle of summer. People are on vacation. I don't know how often parents are checking their emails, probably more than I think. But again, the default is that the information was going to be released, not that you could opt in. So if you missed this email, your kid's information just got out there. She continues. The email was the result of a subpoena sent by the defense of Karmelo Anthony attorney, Mike Howard. Howard requested information which included names, full names, date of birth, addresses, parents' name, and contact information for anyone who attended the track meet at that stadium on that fateful day. I reported on the subpoena several weeks ago, meaning that the school had received those subpoenas well before the date of the email that was sent to parents. Frisco ISD gave the parents little to zero time to act, placing dozens of students' private information at risk of being obtained through public record requests and placed in the hands of violent and ill-willed activists on social media who have already spread false narratives about the Metcalfs, the incident itself, me as a reporter on this case. This has resulted in doxing, serious threats, and swatting. We've seen the Anthony family the Metcalf family getting swatted multiple times. They're doxing this woman's kids. This is a small contingent of like militant Karmelo Anthony supporters. Many parents expressed the frustration, some messaging me and saying they didn't even know about the email that was sent during summer vacation. One parent who was involved in the case in a different manner even stated that they received a separate email that only gave them 24 hours to respond. Fortunately, my reporting and information provided for an attorney reached out who needed it too. On Friday, I was told of an emergency hearing scheduled for this morning, Monday the 28th. I purposely did not report on this publicly until today, after the hearing had already taken place, to avoid bad actors from attempting to sabotage or spread any misinformation about the matter. According to one parent who did obtain a private attorney, a motion was filed to seal the records. Both the defense and the prosecution did agree to this motion. According to the attorney, all students will subsequently benefit from this. According to my sources, the state and the defense had worked out a deal to seal all the records of students who were at the track meet who made statements to law enforcement. I'm 100% fine with this, right? These kids are not involved, and they shouldn't have their names kind of dragged through the mud. They shouldn't have to deal with weirdos online, exclusively reporting on, the names of the kids who talk with the cops. You could end up with a crazy situation where they have, doxing these kids or witness intimidation by people even outside of the trial. Now, there's something else really fishy going on that I'm going to talk about after I finish reading this. The motion specifically acknowledged the fact that both the Metcalf family and the judge have experienced doxing and swatting. Bill Werski, the first assistant district attorney, is working on making all of this more holistic. This way, the Anthony family can no longer use any information they receive to target innocent people, and with the use of bad actors and activists for the Karmelo camp, which is part of why Sarah Fields is suing. That's going to be an interesting case that we need to find out about. According to my sources, the defense already has all the information requested by the subpoenas. Sending such subpoenas when the knowledge request was already known is intentional. It's meant to intimidate. For me, this is an encouraging win. When children are threatened and involved, this is where my journalism meets with my previous and ongoing career as a parent and child advocate. Don't mess with Texas kids. I've requested the documents from Collin County to have the specificities of the gag order that has been filed. When I have copies of those documents, which will give more details on the broadness of the gag order, I will release them to the public. And when we get them, when she gets them, she's going to send them to me, and I will report on them as well. Standard procedure in a criminal case. How else is a defense attorney supposed to identify potential witnesses? I invite you to read everything I wrote, especially in regards to the fact that the defense already has this information. Also, it's important that the information be kept private from the public. Unfortunately, lists have been released to the public, have already been doxed, such as in prior employees of Frisco ISD. This is about intimidating. This is about giving ammunition to, these weirdos that, are pushing this, and, that are huge, advocates. It's okay for Karmelo to have advocates, of course, like 100% fun. But the problem is they're doxing people. They're spreading false narratives. Here's something interesting that I'm still waiting for more information on as well. Something that, I definitely want more information on. And that is, what the heck is going on with the plea? It's now been more than 2 weeks since Karmelo Anthony was supposed to enter a plea of either guilty, not guilty, or no contest. The court documents have been requested as of 2 weeks ago. As of today, by the way, at 4:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, more than 2 weeks later, the documents of his plea have not been shared with the public. 2 weeks is wild. Like, did he plead not guilty? I assume he was going to plead not guilty. But did he? Did he plea no contest? Did he have a plea deal? Now, from what I understand about plea deals, a prosecutor would probably have to go to the Metcalf family. We saw this with Kohberger. When Kohberger was offered a plea deal, they went to the family of the victims to get the okay. So is there a plea deal in the works behind the scenes that we don't know about? Did he not enter a plea because, the DA is working on a plea deal? That would be disastrous. We need to know exactly what led up to this. I don't want any pleas. If he's innocent, let him have his day in court. If it was self-defense, let him have his day in court. If he's guilty, then let that be found out in court. I have no interest in a plea deal. But understand that not last Friday, but the Friday before that was when Karmelo Anthony's lawyers, first of all, entered the plea of guilty or not guilty, and then several other important things were supposed to have been decided at his arraignment. No such information has been shared with the public at this point, and to me, that seems extremely suspicious. Maybe this is common. Maybe some lawyers can let me know in the chat or in the comments that this is common. But right now, this does not look common at all. Something fishy is going on. Keep it locked here, subscribe or follow, so you make sure to never miss a story, and we'll talk to you again real soon.